Hi, welcome to Roots and Roses. I'm Elena, and today we will talk about the fairy tales that traumatized the entire generation. Do you know what American kids grew up with? They grew up with Bluey and Paw Patrol and Daniel the Tiger. They learned kindness, sharing, and emotional regulations. Meanwhile, if you grow up in the former Soviet Union, your bedtime stories were basically survival horrors. Not because our parents wanted to traumatize us, but because these stories had been passed down for centuries. Most of them weren't written by one person, they're like old Slavic folk tales collected later by various authors. But let's start the first one with the queen of the childhood nightmare, the Baba Yaga. She is an old witch. She lives in a house standing on a giant chicken leg, faces the forest, and has to turn to let you in. She flies through the forest on a giant mortar and she kidnaps children. Sometimes eats them. And somehow every kid hears stories about her before going to bed. Then we have Cachet the Deathless. Imagine an immortal skeleton king. You can't kill him because his death is hidden inside of a needle, inside of an egg, inside of a duck, inside of a rabbit, inside of a chest, buried beneath an oak tree on a magical island. Who looked at this plot and thought, perfect for a 6-year old? The next one comes to be the magic swan geeses. It's another folk story where parents leave the house and the older sister doesn't want to watch her brother, and the magical swan geeses swoop down, kidnap him, and deliver him straight to the Baba Yaga. Okay, today parenting advice would be, honey, please keep an eye on your brother. But in our fairy tales, it's if you don't, the giant demon bird will carry him off to a cannibal witch. The next story will be the Colobok. It's a little bread bun that escaped home. He tricked the rabbit, the wolf, the bear, and you're cheering for him, going like, hey, yay, go Colobok, until the fox flatters him and he gets closer to her and closer and closer, and she eats him. The end. There's no rescue. There is no second chances. Just gone, digested by the fox. Okay, and then we have the wolf and the seven little kids. Another old folk tale found across the Europe, including a famous Russian version. So the wolf tricks the children. They open the door. He eats them again. Like he's not scaring them, not kidnapping them. He eats them. The moral? Never open the door to the stranger. Honestly, this lesson sticks. And then there is Maroska. It's another classical folk tale about family love. Basically, a cruel stepmother decided she doesn't want her stepdaughter anymore, so she sends her into the freezing forest to die. No family meetings, no timeouts, just good luck. The girl survives because she's kind and humble and very respectful, and even the happy endings come after an incredible hardship. Looking back at those stories, it sounds absolutely insane, but I also think that they tell us something about the culture they came from. Many generations lived through harsh winter, wars, famine, and uncertainty. Those fairy tales didn't teach children that the world was safe, they assumed it wasn't. Be careful, respect your elders, and don't trust strangers. Keep going even when things get hard. Whatever those lessons are, good or bad or somewhere in between, they definitely shape the childhood of millions of us. And honestly, they explain why so many Eastern Europeans hear those stories and think, yeah, That's a normal bedtime story. While Americans are sitting there wondering, you read that to children? Now, I want to know, what was the creepiest fairy tale you grew up with? Was it the Baba Yaga, the story about Cachet, or maybe it was something completely different? Tell me in the comments, because I have a feeling every country has at least one bedtime story that would absolutely horrify everyone else. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, and save. This was Elena with Roots and Roses. Until next time.